This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
Hey, this morning we have new information on the homicide near the UNR campus. And fish stocking the Truckee River. Why so early? And how are they working around the low water flows? Plus, we'll let you know how problems at our West Coast ports are impacting us here in northern Nevada. We get so much from the ports here. Those stories top your news right now at 6:31, Thursday, February 19th, 2015. Sorry, I have a thing against expensive ice cream. Good morning, I'm John Potter.
I'm Andy Guevara. Thank you for starting your day with Channel 2 News this morning. Speaking of ice cream, you might want some today because it's going to be a little bit warm. Isn't that right, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. Unseasonably warm. Temperatures continue for us. You know, yesterday we had a record high of 70 degrees. We're going to do about the same today. Beautiful sunrise, though, and then look for another warm day with 70 for the high. Colder weather for this weekend. I'll talk about that coming up in a minute. Have a great Thursday.
Man, what a sunrise.
Beautiful.
Anyway, this morning, the stalemate between West Coast dock workers and their employers is now costing businesses, and that could soon impact the prices we all pay.
Well, the labor dispute, this is a contract dispute, negotiations, it's caused shutdowns, it's disrupted deliveries, stranded products offshore, creating a huge cargo bottleneck at all 29 West Coast ports. The Los Angeles mayor has actually been involved in the contract talks and cautiously says they're closer than ever to an agreement. But economists say the damage is already done.
I think any longer would continue to devastate the growth that we're seeing and the economy finally being on its leg.
Well, if both sides don't reach a deal soon, it's estimated the cost to our economy will be more than $2 billion a day.
And as that dispute continues, the impact is already being felt here in northern Nevada. NevCal Trucking in Sparks sends 60 trucks to Oakland every day to pick up imported goods and to get exports onto ships there. Well, the imports right now are few and far between. And in Sparks, all the containers for export are stacking up.
So if the ports aren't open, we can either run to our yard where we stack stuff up, or we can run to Lovelock. EP Minerals has a bunch of containers they have loaded out there. The problem is we bring them in here and there's nowhere to take them because the ports aren't receiving them. So when the ports are basically closed, our drivers are off.
Sheesh. Meyer says this juggling has been going on for 6 months, and he's lost drivers who chose to work elsewhere. He's expecting a boost in business when the labor dispute is finally settled.
Pretty serious. Well, this morning we're showcasing a monthly effort by the Nevada Division of Parole and Probation, who find suspects who have violated the parole. They're calling it their most wanted list. They're asking for help finding 25-year-old Christopher Castro. He was granted parole in January after being convicted of robbing an elderly woman in the pepper mill in 2013. Castro is 5'8", 170 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes, and investigators believe he is still here in the area. If you know where he is, please call the Fugitive Apprehension Unit at 684-2644.
Well, in a follow-up we told you about yesterday here, hey, they found him. Washoe County deputies found the 13-year-old who went missing Tuesday morning. All right. The search was launched for Vincent Reynolds because he was in need of medication he did not have with him.
This morning, we do have an update on the investigation into a murder from Monday night happened near the University of Nevada. Police say the victim has been identified as 46-year-old David Sims. His body was found in a home on 11th Street. And Secret Witness is right now offering a $2,500 reward for information leading to an arrest. The number to call is 322-4900.
Another follow-up to a story we had yesterday. The Nevada Department of Wildlife is stocking the Truckee River with trout. They did about 7,000 rainbow trout into the river yesterday. That doesn't normally happen until mid-March. This is the earliest fish stocking since 1994. The ongoing terrible drought means river flows are going to be very low by early summer, and the water will be warmer too. And that means fewer fish and a smaller window for stocking. 35,000 fish are being added to the river. That's down from 70,000 during the normal year.
I think the fisherman there's got the right idea.
It was a day for everybody to be out there. You know, I was driving and I thought my heater was on.
Because it was so warm.
I kept looking at the car heater, reaching to turn it off. How high did we get yesterday, Jeff?
Yeah, hi, John and
Hi.
Andy. 70 degrees, and that was a record high yesterday, beating out 68 set back in 1981. We're going to do about 70 degrees again today. The record high, though, was 72 back in 65. Now, I know some people don't like this warm weather, especially in February, and we are dealing with a drought, and we definitely need some rain and snow out there. Extreme to exceptional drought continues. This just out, updated by the Climate Prediction Center. So our drought definitely continues, and really no relief in sight. And this is a very somber looking picture here. Washoe Lake, if you've driven past there, you know it is pretty much bone dry. Here's Galen Brown taking this one. This is from a couple weeks ago, but not much has changed out there for sure. Tahoe Cam, a beautiful morning nonetheless. We have mostly partly sunny skies, a few high clouds out there, and our temperatures are not too bad. 36 degrees here in Reno, 26 in Winnemucca and Lovelock. So a chilly start to your day, but again, we will warm up fast just like yesterday. Out there right now with a beautiful sunrise underway. We're at 36 degrees, and we'll make it up to 70 today, well above the average high of 52. So our dry and warm conditions continue for us today with 70 for the high. But coming up, I'll talk about a cold front that will head our way by tomorrow and the weekend, and our temperatures will drop off quite a bit by this weekend. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. John and Andy, have a great day. Back to you.
Thank you, Jeff. In Health Watch this morning, we recently told you about tests that women need to take, and now we're going to tell you about tests that men need. Doctors say men in their 20s and 30s should establish a relationship with a primary doctor, get those baseline numbers for things like blood pressure. They also say the risk for testicular cancer is higher in your 20s and 30s. And in your 30s and 40s, you should know your risk of heart disease. It is the leading cause of death in men. Some doctors also recommend a test for prostate cancer at 40, colon cancer screenings at 50, and lung cancer screenings at 55 for current or former heavy smokers. Experts say it's also important to have your hearing and eyesight checked.
In Cone Zone this morning, we're updating you on that project, the big one to replace the Virginia Street Bridge in downtown Reno, and they've already started, folks. Crews are now relocating the internet and the TV cable lines that run through the bridge, and that work has to happen before the replacement project begins. While crews are working, northbound traffic is going to be detoured at Mill to Center Street, and southbound traffic is going to be detoured at First Street. And for safety reasons, the sidewalks and side street parking may be closed off.
All right, check this out. We have one local man here in northern Nevada. He's doing his part to make sure the memory of the 384th Bombardment Group lives on.
We're talking World War II here.
Yeah.
And how he's doing it is quite interesting. To tell us more, we turn it over to Landon Miller, downtown Reno. Hey, Landon.
Hey, good morning, guys. Fred Prowler is his name. He and a couple other guys have been traveling around the United States, allowing veterans to sign a very, very unique part of history.
They're all brothers, and they feel like this is an expression of that kinship.
The 384th Bombardment Group was active from June 1943 through April of 45. Preller's father was part of the 384th, which inspired him to learn more about the group.
It's admirable, it's tough to do, and they did it.
So Preller is on a mission of his own, getting veterans to sign this panel from a B-17 wing. It's not his wing, it belongs to the 384th Bomb Group Incorporated. The panel, though, has been shipped to 27 states so far. The group has collected 112 signatures.
And for me to be there when they sign and see them do it, I mean, it's very emotional.
The veterans are now anywhere between 88 and 97 years old. Each signature, though, has a story of its own.
John Farr, down here.
Like John Farr, he had a stroke and thought he'd never be able to write again. But he did write again. His name, a little shaky, on the wing.
And John came out, and he signed the darn wing panel.
A metaphor, perhaps, of the strength and the determination they faced during World War II and the bond they share now with each other.
No matter what challenges they face, they really feel a part of the 384th.
Yeah, and he's actually continuing his journey this weekend, going up to Washington to collect another signature, and then March he'll be headed down to Southern California to collect a couple more. But he really wants to find someone here in Northern Nevada, so if you or someone you know is a member of the 384th, you can email me and I'll get you in contact with them. We're covering the story live in downtown Reno. Landon Miller, Channel 2 News.
You know, as we get farther away from World War II
Yes.
and we lose the people who fought in that, it's going to be reminded of what was sacrificed. and what had to be done.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Very cool.